Howdy folks, hope you're all having a great weekend, and welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Daemonhunters, where I have finally, and yes it took me long enough, accumulated enough Poxus seeds to research the source of the bloom. So Inquisitor Waifu is finally off my back, and before too long, she's made a bit of a breakthrough.
Sharp rises in your heart rate and other physiological markers. For the unaugmented, this typically indicates either severe emotional distress or psychic overload.
It has been challenging, Dominus, but hardly a measure of my limits.
Commander, the Inquisitor has completed her task.
Indeed, and it has proved fruitful beyond my hopes. As I theorized, the seeds all emit a common signal from the same destination.
Conclusion?
Don't you see? Such power echoes in the winds of the warp, whispering of a birthplace, the source of their power. I believe the answer to every question will be found there.
Inquisitor, you listen to voices in the Sea of Souls?
You object to my methods, Knight?
You are only human. You walk a dangerous path.
I am a sanctioned Inquisitor of the Ordo Malleus.
This petty dueling is unproductive. Inquisitor, you have located this site?
Have I not said it? The seed's energy points here, to the heart of an Eldari craft world. The craft world Usaria. In the warp's tides, I saw visions of it overrun. The inhabitants slaughtered by the plague god's servants. Now, its wraithbone ruins act like a protective cocoon, shielding the bloom's foul energies from detection.
Such a blasphemous sight will not be unguarded.
Existing archives suggest this craft world is dormant. A swift strike could yield valuable data.
Your tech priest is, as always, on point, Commander. When the time comes, and I urge you to make it soon, I will accompany your knights through the ruins of the craft world and extract the truth with my own hands.
Hooray! Research complete. We can finally start moving the plot forward. But first though, I should get to work on researching something new. I don't want to have the Inquisitor sitting around doing nothing when she could be working, because she'll just find new ways to criticise me. So, what is available? There's a lot of forbidden research here, which we're clearly going to have to advance the plot in order to unlock, but for the moment there are still some good things, like here. Anytime there's a warp surge, everybody gains 1 willpower point, or this. The warp surge increases by 5% less per turn, or an extra stratagem slot. So these are the stratagems that I could research, but I only have 2 stratagem slots at the moment, so there's no point in researching a stratagem unless I have an additional stratagem slot. But for the moment, I think I'm going to go ahead and reduce the amount that the warp surge increases every turn by 5%. And then we'll go ahead and investigate this Eldar craft world, which apparently, according to Inquisitor Waifu, contains the source of the bloom. New location on the map, craft world Usaria. Let's check it out. There it is. Wait a minute. Corruption level 5, danger level extreme. Are we sure about this? The rewards, I mean 5 requisition is nice, but I'd rather have servitors or grimoires, and the actual armory access rewards aren't particularly great, but that's not the thing that's got me concerned. Look at this. Extreme bloom infestation. Warp surge 40% per turn. I mean, admittedly with the research that I'm undergoing, I can get that down to 35% per turn, but that's still really, really bad. So, I think, nope. I don't think I'm ready for this yet. I think I need to do some other missions first, gear up and level up before I go anywhere near that shit. Plus, I don't have the full A-team ready yet. Interceptor Storm is still critically wounded and is currently having his slot filled by Interceptor Dalmar, the new boy, and he's lightly injured as well, so yeah, I don't think so. Of course, I'm going to get my wish. I don't have to wait too long for fresh Bloomspawn missions to pop up, so let's see what we can see. This one over here looks like Corruption level 2, advancing to 3. That's Corruption level 1, that's going to be nice and simple. And this one, ooh, Corruption level 3, advancing to 4. Right, fortunately it's not in the Warp Storm. Unfortunately, it's not covered by my prognostic cards. For the glorious deed, I just have to win the mission with no critical injuries. That's quite doable, I suppose. And I really do need to do this one because corruption's getting out of control on the planet Zypher 5. So I'm going to need to tackle this. A rank 3 apothecary reinforcement available on successful completion. That's actually not too bad. We're going to go ahead and do this one. It's going to take us some time to get there, of course. Hang on a second. Yes, now travel. And let's see what happens along the way. So we're going to get Creus Dalmar back. He's going to recover from his wounds. Oh, and the rebuild of the ship's surgical unit is almost complete as well. Enhanced augmetics unlocked. Okay, this is quite good. I think what this means is anytime one of my marines suffers a critical injury and requires surgery to get back on his feet, that surgery will come with an enhanced augmetic, which is basically a cybernetic enhancement that fixes injury, which is also going to boost his stats in some way. So that's kind of nice. Although hopefully I'm not going to be needing too many of those because I don't intend to get my marines critically injured. But it's another one of those things that's better to have and not need than to need and not have because, well, shit has a way of happening. Also, I'm finally going to invest in improving the ship's engines by 20%. Now I am starting to run low on servitors, but this is definitely something I'm going to need to do to enable me to respond to more than one bloom spawn at a time. Although, I mean, things like plus 50% wound recovery speed would be very nice as well. Gaining an additional prognosticar to expand my coverage of the sector map would be nice. 50% more experience for all of my marines. You know, there are all kinds of things here that I'd like to have. Unfortunately, my resources are very limited. On the bright side, Iolanthus is going to recover from his wounds, although he's only lightly wounded, before we arrive at our next mission. And we have arrived at Zypher 5, and the danger level here is severe. Yeah. Corruption level 3, rising to 4, unless we put a stop to whatever's going on down here. And this planet is not covered by our prognosticars, so I don't really know an awful lot about what we're going to face. There are 6 Poxer seeds available for extraction here, and 3 different unknown minions of chaos. On the bright side, this mission is going to reward me with 10 servitors, and that's good because I'm down to my last 9. The mission rewards are... A rank 3 apothecary is useful because I'm pretty sure I still only have apothecary harm. Win the mission with no critical injuries for an extra requisition? Yeah, sure, I can do that. We'll go ahead and accept that glorious deed. Now then, squad selection. Everybody is back up, nobody is injured. I could replace Interceptor Dalmar with Interceptor Storm because while he's not fully recovered from his injuries, he is now only lightly wounded. And with that Eldar Craftworld mission coming up, I am definitely going to need the A-team. Let's have a look at this guy. He is only rank 2, although he's just, I think, 1 XP short of a promotion. Which is a bit of a bummer, because it means he doesn't have the teleport strike ability yet. But I know who does have the teleport strike ability. Interceptor Storm, and he is just lightly wounded, so even with the penalty to his hit points, he still has the same amount of health that an unwounded Interceptor Dalmar had. And he does have a fully powered up teleport strike ability, although I'm getting kind of concerned that he only has 5 maximum willpower. That's not a lot. That means, well, it's going to severely restrict. In fact, the squad as a whole kind of has low willpower. I think the next time I get these guys promoted, I'm going to have to... let's have a quick look here. Yeah, I've decided that I want to equip Purgator Thule here with the silencer weapon rather than the Psy Cannon that he's currently using, because it's the only one of the heavy weapons available that actually has its own dedicated ability point selection. So you can improve that weapon by spending promotion points. The benefit of the silencer is it has extremely good range. It is by far the longest ranged weapon that you have available, which means that with the silencer equipped I can actually provide proper covering fire for the rest of the squad. Plus it comes with a disrupt shot ability, which allows you to interrupt things like suppressive fire and Overwatch. The downside to the silencer is that you cannot use it to set your own Overwatch, which is a bit of a bummer, but I think is far outweighed by the other benefits that it brings. Not going to equip the silencer on him for now though, because he has not yet put any points into the silencer discipline. So we're going to go with a side cannon, and we're going to start the mission with a lightly wounded Inquisitor Storm. The boys are back in town. The A-team is once again ready to go.
Update. Greater bloom spawn detected in sewage processing facility Alpha 757.
A fitting venue for the machinations of the Plague God.
We will not be deterred. Deploying now.
Right, mission. Destroy the bloom spawn spreader in 8 turns or less. A timed mission. Haven't had one of those before. Glorious deed. Win the mission with no critical injuries. And down at the bottom right corner of the screen you can see our, wait a minute, 2 bloom spawns. Oh, I'm not happy with that. I'm even less happy with the fact that the spreader is right at the opposite end of the map. Look at how far away this thing is. And remember, I have to not only get there in 8 turns, I have to get there and kill it in 8 turns. Holy shit. Plus, there are 2 bloom spawns. Now, I don't know if you remember the last bloom spawn mission. That's the one where intercept the storm. Oh, hang on a second, there are Poxus seeds just lying here waiting to be picked up. We'll go ahead and do that. But the last bloom spawn mission is the one where intercept the storm suffered his critical injury and got written off for 3 months. And in fact, he still hasn't fully recovered. He's still lightly wounded. Now, if I'm being completely honest here, that was also the mission where I made some ridiculously stupid decisions that also kind of led to Interceptor Storm being critically injured, but you cannot make stupid decisions on a bloom spawn mission, because those things will kick your ass. They have a ridiculous amount of health and armor, and they have a ranged attack that's armor piercing, so it bypasses any armor that you have. You cannot mess around on a bloom spawn mission. And there are 2 of them on this mission, as well as the Plague Spreader. And I don't even know what the Plague Spreader does, I've never seen it before. It's not going to be good, I know that much. And I'm on a timer here, although for some reason the timer seems to have gone up to 9 turns. Don't know why, I'm not going to complain. I'm pretty sure it was 8 turns when I arrived here. And because of the high corruption level on this planet, the warp surge is advancing 30% every turn. Shit. Okay, now I'm down to 8 turns again. So, I'm against the clock here. I cannot afford to waste time fighting patrols. Not with the mission objective, the bloom spawn spreader, all the way at the other end of the map. And there's another patrol. The good news is it's not heading straight towards me. Yet. The other patrol is heading away. At least for now, but it could turn around at any time. So I'm going to have to try at least to be sneaky here and thread my way between these 2 patrols. Because I just don't have the time to fight them. So, good news, bad news situation. I do manage to make it across about 2/3 of the map without encountering any of those enemy patrols. The bad news, actually the bad news is coming in 2 separate doses. There is another patrol over there, and it is heading away, so that's not the bad news, but I'm not able to get to the bloom spawn spreader before I get my first warp surge. Enemy forces gain +1 reinforcements. Okay, that's not good. I mean, the warp surge is never good, but that could have been a lot worse. Slightly more significantly bad, however, is the fact that my guy's in Terminator armor, because I stuck to this low ground here in order to sneak through the patrols, but the guys in Terminator armor can't actually climb out of it. The guys in power armor, Purgator Fool, and Intercept the Storm can, but Terminator armor is just too heavy. So I'm hoping I'm not going to have to completely backtrack and retrace their steps in order to join the 2 guys in power armor who can just climb out of this hole. Because I don't have the time to do that. It's taken me 4 turns to get everybody here, and I only have 6 turns left. And there's no way I'm dealing with a bloom spawn spreader, whatever that is, with just Purgator Fool and Intercept the Storm.
What is your will?
Oh shit. Oh well. Hey, on the bright side, there's another Poxus seed here I can pick up. So, just exactly how far do we still have to go? Wow. And we are all the way back here. The good news is I can actually climb the Terminator armor equipped guys out of the hole that I've gotten them into. So that's not completely terrible. Except I can't. I can get them onto this pipe, but I can't get them up onto the pipes in the next level. So it's back down into the hole again. Can I get around here? I can get up over here, but that's getting me perilously close to a patrol that is heading in this direction.
Your command.
I think I am going to have to fight a patrol, whether I like it or not.
Taking position.
Oh, an interceptor storm's all the way back there. Oh my, what the hell is that? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. My god, look at all the armour it has.
Unleash.
Alright. Whoa, I'm going to have to spend some willpower here. Probably end up triggering a warp surge early.
As you command.
Let's move Interceptor Storm up, because we're going to need him. And what is this? A Mephitic Blight Hauler. Okay, it has 8 armour, but it only has 5 hit points. But it has all kinds of ranged area effect attacks, which can drain your willpower, break your armour, knock you back, all kinds of bad shit. 5 movement speed, 8 armour, but only 5 hit points. Okay, that definitely needs to die. It's backed up by what appear to be a couple of cultists, so just cannon fodder basically, although this one is carrying a Poxus seed and has a mutation that gives him 2 armour. Right then. Great. Neither Justicar Iolanthus nor Apothecary Hahn can climb out of this hole I've put them in. Well, shit. What can Purgator Fool do from here? I do not want to get him shot at, so he does have hard cover here. And he can at least use his Extractor Servo Skull to grab that Poxus seed from the mutated cultist, so we'll go ahead and do that. This may not have been the smartest move, however, because hard cover works both ways. He can't actually shoot anybody from there, and he is standing uncomfortably close to a pile of plasma cells. On the other hand, it still should be relatively safe because the AI doesn't really target environmental hazards. I mean, if it hits you with a blast attack and you're next to an environmental hazard, the environmental hazard will go off, but it doesn't seem to target them directly. So I can get Apothecary Hahn up and into line of sight. But, oh wait, he can just get those 2 guys with a grenade from here. Fantastic. He can't climb out of those pipes because the Terminator arm is too bulky, but he can at least remove their cover and severely injure the 2 cultists. In fact, he's blown one of them so far away that the cultist at the back there on the lowest health is now on a lower level and also no longer has line of sight, so that's good. There's not a lot else that I can do with Apothecary Hahn's 1 remaining action point other than to get him out of line of sight. I don't think I can do an awful lot, other than honour the chapter with Justicar Iolanthus. I mean, he certainly can't shoot anything from down here, so Inquisitor Storm, we are going to warp charge this. Or are we? I'm probably going to need... oh, what the hell. Let's do it. So this is going to give Interceptor Storm 3 action points and 1 point of willpower. I mean, he doesn't need the willpower because he hasn't actually expended willpower on anything yet. But we are definitely going to need the 3 action points, because I think he blew 2 of his action points just to get up here when this patrol was initially encountered. If I move him to there, he can shoot, but shooting with a Storm Bolter is not really going to bother the Blight Hauler. How far can I move him up to get him within teleport strike range and have the maximum number of action points left? So I can move him to there and he'll still have 3 action points. So we'll do that. And now we're going to use the teleport strike. And it is in teleport strike range. But it's just the Blight Hauler who's in teleport strike range. That's going to kill 5 of its 8 armor. If I warp charge it, it'll do 7 of its 8 armor, so I'm definitely doing that. And I still have 2 action points left. So we're going to hit it really hard with a force strike, and that will kill it. Cut through its remaining armor and tear through its 5 hit points. I've got 1 action point left. I can kill that guy. Doesn't require a force strike. And that leaves 1 wounded.
Purge complete.
Oh. I've only got 1 action point left on Purgator Fool. I can't actually do anything about that last cultist. If I'd remembered to equip his grenades again, I probably could have, but I didn't, did I? 'Cause I'm shit. On the bright side, we can at least now get Iolanthus and Apothecary Hahn out of this hole. But not in time to do anything useful, so Intercept the Storm is going to get shot at, and there's nothing I can do about it. But he's a big boy, he's certainly had worse, and 'tis but a scratch. So the surviving cultist... Oh, and there is another patrol coming. The bloom's rising to 85%. We're definitely getting a warp surge on the next turn. But I should be able to kill that last cultist and then hightail it out of there without triggering that second patrol.
What is your will?
Purgator Fool, you can just shoot him from here. Oh wait, no, he's covering you with Overwatch. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. What are you doing? Oh, for God's sake.
Now.
I have to stop making these kind of mistakes. I think I could run over there with Intercept the Storm and hacked his head off. I mean, yeah, they're Marines, they can take a bit of damage, and I can always heal them up with Apothecary Hahn, but Apothecary Hahn's heals are free. You can only do it once per turn, and it costs him willpower. As we used to say in the Navy, come on mate, switch on. I mean, you make an error like that in front of a Nurgle cultist, and it's a minor annoyance at best, but you make an error like that in front of something a bit more dangerous, like a Blight Hauler, or a Bloom Spawn, it will kick your arse. There's another seed over there, but there is a patrol in that direction as well, and I don't want to risk triggering it, so we're just going to ignore it. I have 5 turns left to make it to the Bloom Spawn spreader, and we're about to have a warp surge.
Yes, sir.
So, what's the bad news this time? Bloom rises, warp surge, and your knights suffer -1 max hit points for the remainder of the mission. Again, not good, but not completely terrible. And there are now 4 turns remaining for me to reach and destroy that Bloom Spawn spreader, which means I cannot afford any further distractions. Whether that's stopping to pick up Poxus seeds or clearing up any patrols along the way. And it is with 2 turns remaining that I finally reach the Bloom Spawn spreader and see exactly what it is that I'm here to kill.
Lapdogs of the false emperor.
What the actual fuck?
Throne of the Emperor. That one's massive.
We will not
Yeah,
be daunted.
that's what she said.
The demons surround you.
Jeez. Oh, we're getting reinforcements. Fantastic. And they're spawning between me and the mission target, with 2 turns to go. Did I also mention the 3 Plague Marines? Wow. Okay. Well, combat's initiated. Everybody gets their action points back. Move Iolanthus up into partial cover. Apothecary Hahn, what can we do with him? Okay. Actually, no, 4 Plague Marines, not 3. I thought one of the Plague Marines was the Bloom Spawn spreader. So no, 4 Plague Marines and the Bloom Spawn spreader. Right. Apothecary Hahn does still have a grenade. I need to get him to within grenade throwing range, though. Well, actually, I need to get him to within safe grenade throwing range, because I don't want him to be just standing in the open. There's good cover there, but it's standing right next to a pile of plasma cells, so let's not do that. That should do. I should be able to get a grenade up onto the balcony from there. The plan here is to... Oh, that's perfect. I can hit all of the Marines and the spreader. But more importantly, the blast is going to knock at least 3 of those Marines off the balcony and out of their partial cover, as well as stripping off their armour. So, now what? Iolanthus still has 2 action points. We'll come back to him in a moment. Intercept the Storm, because let's face it, he is pretty much my biggest source of damage. I wish he hadn't started as far back as that, though. That's as far up as I can move him. I still have 2 action points left. We're going to go ahead and honour the chapter, and we will warp charge it. Oh, we can't. He doesn't have enough willpower. Alright, just a basic honour the chapter. 2 extra action points. Now then, it's time for Interceptor Storm to kick arse and take names. Oh, he doesn't have enough willpower either to do a teleport strike. He can teleport, though. And he does have a 50% chance of having his action points refunded when he teleports, so fingers crossed. And he doesn't get his action points refunded. Alright. It's going to take 2 hits to kill this Plague Marine. 1 more. Right, that's giving him a point of willpower back. He has 1 action point remaining, where he can... well, he can hurt, but not kill this other Chaos Marine. So he's done. Now then, Iolanthus. From here, you should be able to at least shoot that Chaos Marine. It's not going to kill him, though. Yeah, what the hell. Then again, no, even boosting it with a Cybolt isn't going to kill him. Okay, Purgator Fool. I can move you up to there and still have an action point left. And we're going to shoot this guy, and that will kill him. And that, I think, is the end of my turn.
Foe down.
Which means I now only have 1 turn remaining to kill that Plague Spreader. And there are still 2 Marines. The guy at the back there is laying down a hazard spray, which blocks me from getting up that side. The Plague Marines themselves, of course, are completely immune to the hazard spray. And we're going to get reinforcements coming through that warp gate. And this side is now blocked by Overwatch. There's a patrol heading this way. There's another patrol heading this way, but they're too far away to make a difference.
They come to the
Oh, Lord, no. More Marines. So I was facing 4 Marines and a Plague Spreader. I killed 2 of the Marines, and I'm still facing 4 Marines and a Plague Spreader. And here's the Warp Surge, and there are more reinforcements coming. And I've got 1 turn left to get that Bloomspawn Spreader.
Here's Commander.
Storm is covered by Overwatch. He could teleport out of there. Or he could expend an action point to toss a grenade and knock over the guy who's covering him with Overwatch. It looks like this is the only safe route up to the Bloomspawn Spreader, but I just don't have enough action points to get everybody up there. I can teleport there with Storm. And he does get the action point refunded. Okay, that's good news. It means he still has the 3 action points and you can hit this thing 3 times and holy shit, 30 hit points. As well as 5 armor. Well, it ain't gonna kill itself. There's 1. Armor's gone, it's down to 27 hit points. May as well hit it again. It's down to 23 hit points, and he is now out of action. But hang on a minute, I haven't used any of my stratagems yet. So the Quicksilver I could give... well, actually, we'll hold on to that. Instead, we're going to teleport the entire squad round here on the far side of the Bloom Spreader. And hopefully, the bulk of the Bloom Spreader itself is going to block line of sight between my squad and the majority of those 4 fresh Plague Marines. Right. Apothecary Hahn. He does a reasonable amount of melee damage, but I don't want to waste an action point just moving him over there. Instead, we're going to boost his Stormbolter with a Cybolt, because he's got plenty of willpower, he basically hasn't used any of it yet. And we're going to carve this thing up from range. Going to do it again. Should reduce it to 11 hit points. And we definitely do need to kill this thing this turn, because, well, not just because I've only got 1 turn left, but if I don't kill it this turn, it's going to get all of its armor back. So we'll just go ahead and do that again. It's down to 5 hit points. I still have the Quicksilver stratagem if I need it. Purgator Fool. Actually, I'm thinking I'm going to need willpower back after this, because I still have to deal with all those Marines. So who am I going to give the kill to? Purgator? Wait,
Well
what?
done, Commander. The Plague God will rage at our victory today.
Oh, I'm done. I thought I had to kill the bloom. I didn't have to kill the bloom spawn. Well, okay. Yeah. Planned for and got. The bloom spawn was showing up as an objective in the list of enemies on the bottom right of the screen. I mean, whenever I moused over it, it said objective, but it was not actually a mission objective. I just had to kill the spreader. So it's a good job I did go straight for the spreader and ignore the bloom spawns, because, I mean, I finished it as late as I possibly could. But it's all good. We are done. 10 servitors, I'm going to need them. 3 requisition points for completing the glorious deed. Corruption level on the planet down by 1. And we recovered a whole bunch of Poxus seeds. I quite like the look of spending some requisition points on a rank 3 apothecary. I'm not sure about these other rewards though, because they are just rank 1. And oh hang on, a silencer with extended range. A 17 range silencer. I don't care if it is tier 1, I am having that. Because I wanted a good silencer for Purgator Fool, and that is a good silencer. The rest of the tier 1 rewards, meh, don't care. I'll save the requisition points instead. Next, please say I earned enough XP to get some promotions, particularly for Purgator Fool, because I do want to spec him into the silencer discipline. The votes are in, and the jury says, yep, promotions for everybody except Apothecary Han. Okay, so first, Justicart Iolanthus. He desperately needs more willpower. So we're definitely picking that. That's going to give him 8 total willpower. You get 2 willpower points for picking that promotion. Where do I want to take him next though? The Rend the Unclean discipline. This is an area of effect melee attack which will lead to more willpower, but can I get any more willpower anywhere else? Nope, I can't, so yep, we're going to go for that. Right, that's Iolanthus sorted out. Next, Purgator Fool. So I have picked up a really nice silencer for him to use, and I need to get to the silencer discipline. I mean, just the first point in there is going to extend the range even further, so that's good. Although this return fire ability is pretty nice as well. However, to get to the extended range on the silencer and start speccing in there, I have to go through increased ammo, which is good. It does mean I'm not going to have to reload every turn, and putting this first point into silencer discipline is going to give the weapon an extra 4 range, and the master crafted silencer that he's picked up already has a range of 17, so yeah. We are so taking that. Next, Interceptor Storm. He's currently sitting on 5 willpower, so we're taking the extra bonus willpower to put him up to 7. Where do I put his final point? This support fire ability is pretty good, because it means when an enemy is shot within his weapon range, he will also shoot at them. And generally speaking, because he is melee combat, there's always going to be a bunch of enemies within his shooting range. The other willpower point available is buried over here in the Hammerhand discipline. And I'd kind of like to get to it, but I can't go straight there. So I'm going to spend his last point boosting his Hammerhand crit damage, which will allow him to pick up that willpower buff on his next promotion. And we are done. Another successful mission. Although if I'm being completely honest, another accidentally successful mission. Although I was at least smart enough to know that I had to go for the spreader first, bypassing as much as possible in order to get there within the time limit, and I succeeded. Now then, the master crafted silencer that I just picked up, which I am now going to equip on Purgator Fool. This is the one with 17 firing range, which is 7 range better than any psi cannon, and with the first point specced into silencer discipline, in effect, gives it a range of 21, which is just ridiculous. And this is it. The Knight's Candle, and the special scattershot attack on the silencer, which on this one can be further upgraded to get 3 additional range. It's a short range attack, it's basically a point blank range area of effect cone attack, but with the upgrades, which I can't unlock just yet, that will have a range of 10 as well, which is the base range of a psi cannon, so we're definitely equipping this. But the burning question on everybody's lips is, Jingles, did you remember to equip Purgator Thul's grenades? The answer to which is, of course, no, obviously I didn't. He still has an empty grenade slot. But don't worry, I'm sure that isn't going to come back and bite me in the arse at some point in the future. It'll be fine. Anyway, I think I should quit while I'm ahead, or at least before I fall any further behind. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to the next episode, which will probably be dropping on Wednesday. In the meantime, have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and as always, be pure, be vigilant, behave.